What's going on YouTube? It's Trent here with Off-Road Odyssey. Today I'm going to be talking about my backpacking setup. Just got back from Big Pine. Was great. So I figured now that I've kind of had time to set up my gear and get it all loaded out, ready to go, I would go ahead and go over it because I finally found that balance between being able to do a hike that's short, 5-6 miles, staying up in one lake and then hiking to the other ones from that destination, kind of setting up camp, if you will, and then being able to also take the same gear and take it on a longer distance 60-mile hike and be able to be just as comfortable in the weight that I'm carrying. So let's go ahead and get into it. So if you're just looking for a certain item, whatever, the timestamps will be on the screen here. Go ahead and click on those to move ahead or whatever. But I'm gonna unload my pack like I pretty much normally carry it. There's a few things, and I'll make note of that. But anyways, so the pack itself is the Ultralight mountain gear pack. It's the Southwest, so it does not have the mesh pockets, which I'm fine with. But this has been an awesome pack. I like that it has the roll top here, so it rolls down, and basically however much stuff you decide to put in it determines the size of the pack. It's great because when I was in Yosemite, it turned it into a day pack. It's small enough, light enough that it's not cumbersome or bothersome to have this as my day pack instead of carrying a whole separate pack around. So that's that. I'm going to do a separate review on that later on. Starting from the outside here, we've got my sit pad, comfortable. I will put it on top of my bear can, or I will put it on the ground and go ahead and just, use it as my seat. In here, when I'm not hiking, I also carry these, which are just my stone guards for my Altra Superiors. They're pretty nice just to have. The only piece of clothing item that I carry outside of my pack is this Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. They're kind of pricey, but they're definitely worth the cost in my opinion. It's super lightweight, and for me it keeps me warm enough that I can just put this over my down jacket or some of my other clothing items, and it keeps me warm. I carry the Sawyer Squeeze. Carry the bag. I know it could be lighter weight, but I carry the bag with a sports cap attached to the filter itself. So it's the full size one, not the mini. Pro tip, get the sports cap because then you can back flush it. Just push it onto here, fill this with clean water or use your water bottle and back flush it. It works great, and you don't need to bring the syringe. So I usually have, when I'm I'll carry an extra sports cap in there before I hike, just to make sure that I have one. That. The next thing in here, gotta have a way to keep yourself entertained. So playing cards, not necessary, but they do go on the shorter hikes with me. On the longer hikes, I'll take this thing, which is a cork ball. Try and get it so it will focus on that. Just a cork ball, pretty good exercising. In here, I just have some medication, Benadryl in here, and then usually like Pepto, Bismol, or whatever, just in case. And then a miniature Bic Lighter, because if you're gonna go ultralight, you gotta go mini Bic, and then a light my fire or whatever, a little emergency fire starter in case I need it. Just a peace of mind. And that is that pouch. On the next side pouch here, got the all-important TP. And this is just in a produce bag to keep it from getting wet. It doesn't always sit on the outside, but usually it does unless I predict there's going to be rain or something. And then the deuce of spades, because you've got to practice good leave no trace. On this side here, I've got a carabiner that's super hard to get off. Sea to Summit carabiner, titanium of course, because you gotta go ultralight. And then I carry this Allen wrench, which goes to my Peak Designs clip, whatever. So it sits on the shoulder, so my camera can sit on my shoulder. So that's that. And then a mosquito net, because when I get bit by mosquitoes, it is just a bunch of swelling. So I try and keep my face from swelling up while on the trail. I am one of those people who do believe in having a decent sized knife while you're camping. You don't necessarily need this, but the weight for this is just as heavy as some of those smaller pocket knives. I will usually, like, first 2 days bring an avocado, so I like to have a knife to cut that up and cook with, fillet fish, a little bit of bear protection. Just kidding, I would not fight a bear with a knife. And then mosquito repellent. It's probably why I need the mosquito net, because it's the lemon and eucalyptus, but it seems to work okay. And that is that for the outside pouches. The hip pockets, I carry my sunglasses when they're not on my face. They're just some cheapo whatever. And then I have the, what is this, the UCO Ultralight headlamp. It's cool because it's rechargeable. It's got red, and then it adjusts the brightness here. I did do my own head strap here, just out of paracord. Don't necessarily recommend it. It's probably not that much lighter, but I took the head strap off, and it's worked so far. Then on the shoulder strap, I carry the Garmin InReach here, which has been nice. I usually only use it for the longer distance hikes where we're going to be changing campsites, and it might be harder to find us if there's only me and one other person, or me and 2 other people. I'll use this one. Just more for peace of mind for the family than it is for myself. In here, I don't normally carry my sleeping bag like this because that would be a giant waste of space, but because it's down, I like to let it air out, and I usually hang it in the closet. But I wanted to show you guys. This is the Magma, REI Magma Trail Quilt. It's 30 degrees. This is awesome because if you toss and turn in your sleep a lot, I would highly recommend getting one of those. It straps to the pad, and it works out perfectly. The other item is just up top because it is also down. This is normally in my clothing setup. This is just a down jacket from REI. It's $6.50 filled down. If you're looking for a cheaper solution for one of these, go to Costco. They have a few of them that are pretty cheap, which is cool. Electronics. So I just carry it in a plastic baggie here to try and keep it a little bit more water sealed. This is the most important item. The thing that always goes with me is the Anchor battery. It's 10,000 milliamp. It's like the lightest weight one I could find for the size and to be able to do quick charging. So I bring a USB-C cable for that. And then on the end of it is this USB-C to micro USB adapter. And I use that to charge either this headlamp or to charge the batteries, which are the Sony NP-BX1 batteries. And then I have a charger for that, which is pretty lightweight as well. So this works with both the Sony cameras I have. I only bring one of them. And I'll bring one, maybe 2 extra SD cards. That one's a 64 gig. And then because iPhones are difficult, you have the lightning cable because they don't want to go regular USB-C. That's a story for a different time. All right. Now, this is the biggest waste of space thing and probably the heaviest and would help save about 2 pounds. And that is the bear can. I bring this because most of the time where I'm going, it requires a bear can. One day I will probably replace this with like a bear bag or whatever if I start doing hikes that are not in California where they require these in most spots. Plus, it's nice. I mean, it is nice to have a little seat out of this, and then to be able to put it down and not really worry about it too much, versus trying to hang a bag. So in there, if I don't have this thing full all the way, I bring this as my cook system here. This has a squishy bowl, which is nice, but I probably will find a replacement, either another metal titanium one or a cup or something that I can eat out of and keeps my coffee a little warmer. That's the most important part, coffee. I do bring the bag just because it keeps everything nice together and it's not that much weight. I do replace it with I did replace it with the Jetboil lid, and the reason for that is because of this thing here, the coffee French press filter. I am not impressed by this by any means or stretch of the imagination. So if you have another option, let me know, because I probably will replace this whole setup. It's light, but you get a lot of grounds. If you don't hold this down while you're pouring it, the coffee grounds seep out. Coffee is good, but not necessarily the best that it could be. Next thing is a mini Bic Lighter, because of course, if you're going ultralight, you gotta have a mini Bic. Light load towel. I have 2 of these. One sits in the cook stuff to clean the cooking gear, and then one is mostly for like my hands or face or whatever. So those. In here, I have the Jetboil 100-gram can, and I will bring 2 of these on a longer hike. Even though it's a little more weight, I just feel like it's a little less wasteful in the sense that most of the time I don't burn through these all the time. I'll burn through most all of one can and then a smaller can for a few days. And then the titanium cup. That's the word I was looking for. Titanium spoon, Sea to Summit, long handled. If you find the ones with the polished like bowl part of this, I would recommend it, because I feel like titanium holds the flavor a little bit, but it's kind of all preference. Toiletries, sunscreen. This is one of those Quip toothbrushes, like the refills. So it comes with a little plastic tube. It's lighter than cutting just the handle off, and it's saving. I get them every 3 months or whatever anyway, so might as well use it. I do carry Dr. Bronner's soap. I don't like to necessarily use soap all the time, so I try and keep it away from the water source. But if you're gone for a while, it's nice to clean yourself up, as well as be able to clean your dishes, clean out any cuts, scrapes, whatever. A toothpaste tube with most of the toothpaste out of it, of course. And then toiletries, same thing goes with any of the soap or whatever. I have pretty sensitive skin, so this is all like face cleaner and face sunscreen. So that is nice. I do carry a couple of the Mountain House meals in my bear can. That way, if I can get up and go, I will. I'll have 2 days or whatever worth of food here. And then, because I didn't finish all of my coffee on the last go around, there's coffee in here. All right, on the side of it, I have what is fairly new to me, is the REI Flash Air 1 tint. This is, they say, 1 pound and 4 ounces without the tent poles, and I found that to be pretty true and accurate. It's lightweight. I did bring the stuff sack this time. I just wanted to bring everything that I had. It was a short hike. I wanted to try it out. I like having stuff sack because it keeps all the dirt and whatever from being there, but it would easily fit at the bottom of my pack the way that they have it set up. So I have that. In there I have the poles. So these are just, I don't really need to get them out. They're tent poles, you know what they are. But the cool feature is they have this little guy here on one of them, and that allows you to put a truck pole in there and not have to use your tent pole. So I might try that out next go around and only bring the truck pole. But for now, that's what I'm using. With that is the tent stakes. They come with these DAC aluminum tent stakes. They're probably not the lightest thing, but they did hold up pretty well. I accidentally stuck one into the root of a tree, and it held up well, even after I had to bend it a little bit to get it out. I do bring a pillow. This is the Cetus Summit Aeros Ultralight pillow. I think it's in like medium or whatever. I like having a pillow. It's one of those comfort items because I feel like just having clothes to sleep on is not the most comfortable. Speaking of comfort, I have a Thermarest Neo Air. This is probably by far one of the lightest weight and better sleeping pads with the R value rating to keep you warm. You don't necessarily have to bring this. The other thing that I bring is my Z-Lite Thermarest sleeping pad. This is not as comfortable by far, but it is nice to just not have to worry about inflating the thing or really putting any holes in it or any of that stuff. So the last thing in the pack is my clothing system. It's in a waterproof bag here. Probably not necessary, but it's nice to have extra pillow, if you will. Some of the stuff that I change out are like these pants here. These are just from Costco. I don't know who makes them, but that's the brand. What does it say? Waterproof, vintage. They're pretty water resistant. They're nice. They're lightweight. I will bring these if I think I'm going to be like walking around the lake or on a shorter hike or whatever. I'll bring those. And then this did not go on me with or did go with me on the last trip, but probably will not be going with me anymore. It's the Columbia button-down shirt. It's been great, but it's not really needed anymore because I swapped it out with a hoodie. So it is something that I have, and it was great, but I found something I think lighter weight and better. Darn Tough socks. So I wear these ones usually on the hike up because they're pretty padded and cover my ankles. And then these are my Darn Tough liners. So these are pretty good as well. They're nice to have to prevent blisters. Not totally necessary, but I use these in conjunction with my Altra Superior 4s, and they have been great on the hike up. I do have an additional sock. These are smart wool socks. They're below the ankle or whatever, and I wear these mostly around camp or to swap out with those socks if I'm cleaning those. I hike up usually in these Prana Mojo 2 shorts. I wear these every day, outside of just backpacking, but these shorts are awesome to hike up in. You don't need a belt. The elastic is pretty good on the shorts themselves. And then I'll wear, they don't have boxers or liners or whatever, which I like, but these are the Ex Officio boxer briefs, boxer briefs. So they work really well. I wear these in my everyday life as well, not just hiking. They dry super quick, so they're awesome to have on the trail. This is the Capilene Sun Hoodie by Patagonia. Amazon makes one very similar to this, so you can look into that. But it's lightweight, dries easily. Honestly, probably one of the better things that I've bought. So I'll hike up in this, and then when it gets cooler, I will throw on my other Capilene shirt, and I can throw this one over that. I do bring 3 pairs of socks, probably excessive, but these are Farm to Feet, different type. Bought these in Yosemite, but they're pretty nice, and it's nice to have clean socks when you go to bed after you clean your feet off. This is something I may or may not bring next time. I might just use a light loads towel because those worked out pretty well. But this is just what is this? The Wild Horn Outfitters microfiber towel. It's pretty, it's decently large, so it was nice to have when I jumped in the lake. I was drying myself off because it was freezing. Depending on the length of the hike, I will maybe bring a second pair of underwear here. but a lot of times I just keep this in there so I can throw it out, leave it in my car. That way I have a clean pair when I get back to the car. I don't smell terrible. This is the other Capeline, Patagonia Capeline shirt, long sleeve, pretty warm again, so I'll either wear this under or over or by itself when I'm at camp, just before I go to bed. And then a lot of times I will sleep in these long johns. These are just REI long johns. They're pretty light. I'm sure there's lighter out there. Looking into merino wool and some other stuff, because a lot of times I'll wear these with the shorts just by themselves and not have to worry about bringing those pants. Again, weather dependent, but gloves, these are nice to have like in the morning. So these may or may not go with me, just depending on the hike. I always bring a beanie, even though beanies pretty much annoy me a lot because of the fact that they just make my head itchy, but I bring this beanie. It's an REI beanie. There's a lot of other ones out there. They're probably better, but it's what I have. So I didn't see a purpose in buying another one. And then I have a buff. So this is good, obviously, protect your face, your neck. I'm not wearing that sun hoodie. Keeps you cool, something to wipe down with. They have a lot of purposes. And then just the waterproof bag. This is the outdoor products bag. They're all right. There's a lot lighter out there that are probably more waterproof. I'll probably switch to those. But again, I had that, so I use it. So last but certainly not least is the diamond, or black diamond trekking poles. If you do not have a good pair of trekking poles, that is probably one of the things I would say to buy. Good socks, good trekking poles, and good boots or shoes are a must, and trekking poles are. I've seen a lot of guys that buy, guys and girls or whoever, a lot of backpackers, bring or buy cheapo $40, $50 trekking poles, and although there are probably some good ones out there, I would not, it's just find ones that are solid, good reviews, that hold up well. That's what these ones have done for me. I think I've had these for 9 years now, and they have not, honestly, they're still just as good as the day I bought them, obviously a little more used, but these things have been awesome. There's better ones out there, so definitely recommend it. On the poles, I do carry some Luco tape, and this is just to help with blisters, mostly for other people, and then sometimes gear repair. But awesome stuff. So that's my setup. It's pretty simple. It's taken a long time to build this. I've started from external frame backpack to now what I have, and all the different iterations and taking the gear that worked and didn't work and swapping it out and testing out different stuff is kind of the fun part for me. Now, this will definitely not be the end of my gear testing, and as stuff gets lighter and develops better, and I get more experience with backpacking and the ultralight-ish community, I will, start changing my gear accordingly. But I've been doing this for the last, 14 years now. I started when I was pretty young, and backpacking is like one of my favorite things to do, regardless of if it's a 5-mile hike or a 65-mile hike. It's just great to get out there and hike and hang out with a couple of your friends and go out there and just enjoy it, whether it's a couple days or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever. It's a great way to get out and enjoy nature. So with all of that being said, I do appreciate you guys watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below or hit me up on one of the social media platforms. I try and respond to all of them. If you're interested in more of my personal content, you can go ahead and check the link in the description to see that. Other than that, leave some comments down below. Gear I should test out, gear you guys like, whatever. Just go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. I appreciate it. And while you're down there, maybe smash that like button if that's your style, or click it. That's totally acceptable too. Or hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. cool to build this channel up to be able to give back to everyone else that watches and supports. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching.